Hey everyone, I'm Ace and this is Kane, and this video is a combo tip video for newer Puzzle & Dragons players. When first starting out with Puzzle & Dragons, combo making can seem difficult, so we hope to be able to provide you guys some basic tips and tricks that you might be able to build upon to advance your puzzling skills.
And so in this video, we're going to be talking about 3 tips that will increase your combo making. And so the first one is pattern recognition, the second one is working backwards and then planning ahead, and our third one will be orb pushing. Tip number 1 is pattern recognition, and the first one will be straight line.
Alright, so here I'm highlighting these 3 red orbs. As you can see, they are in a column there, but there is this yellow orb in the middle. So the straight line, it's pretty straightforward, and the way to go ahead and create a match of 3, you can do one of 2 things. You can move this middle orb directly down, and you can see there's a combo there, or you can move it straight up, and there you have another combo there.
And so the next one will be the little L.
And so here, it's basically any 3 orbs that are at a right angle. As you can see, this L is upside down, but with this, you can take an orb and drag it through the L shape, and it creates a match of 3 there, as you saw. Or you can take an orb from the side and actually go into this corner piece and then go down, and now I've created a line on the top there.
Awesome, okay. And then so the next one will be the arrowhead.
Alright, and this is also another very obvious match. These 3 purple orbs, you can see there's this pink orb here in the middle. Your first indication may be just to move that straight up there, but there's also another option here. You can come in from either side, and what you would do is you would move that orb there and then around like that, and now we've created that same combo.
And the next one will be the 1-2.
Alright, and so we call it the 1-2 because you can see in this case, these red orbs, there's 1 orb by itself, and there are 2 orbs over here, and you see they're separated by this purple orb in this case. So what you can do here is take an orb through the middle, say this purple orb for example, and just follow the line of the 2. So now I've created that match there, and I'll take it back. I'll show you one more time right through there, and then taking it back.
And then lastly, we'll have the diagonal line.
Okay, and here we have 3 light orbs in a diagonal. What we can do is 2 things depending on which way we want this match to be aligned. We can take one that goes through the side and then through the other side there, kind of in a circular motion. Or we can go up and then down. So now we've created the horizontal version of that.
So these are the 5 basic patterns that we picked out that is easily recognizable in the game to help you increase those combos. So now we're going to be working on tip number 2, which is working backwards and planning ahead.
Alright, so we are still using the same board that we were using when showing off the patterns there, but the thought process here is when you are puzzling, you're going to want to look for patterns that you recognize, and as you can see here, maybe we have this green L here at the bottom, and it makes sense just to take this red orb and go ahead and move it right through there and create that 3 orb combo, or that 3 orb match, I should say. However, one thing that we might want to do is see if there's maybe a combo that we can make before that. So taking, as we say, a step back and seeing if there's a combo that we can make first. So let's maybe think about taking this purple orb over here and using this diagonal first to create a line, and we would then move it down through this area to be able to create the line right through there, and then we would end up with it up here, and then we can make that same L, and instead of using this red orb we would be using this purple orb. And so that would be an example of kind of working backwards to find a combo. In terms of planning ahead, we could also think that if we still have time once we've made this green orb match, maybe there's another possible place that we could create a match. And I do see we have this line here, and maybe we could take the purple right through here and just move it down so that now we have this 3 reds that would be set up right here. And maybe from there we could move back up through this L and create that. And as we spoke of earlier, there's also the ability when coming from the side of an arrowhead to be able to make a row right here. So I will go ahead and see if we can showcase that right now. So first we have the purple orb in hand, and we're going to follow the line here to make this diagonal into a match. So there, now we followed this, now we're going down to make that row, and here we end up over there. So also you want to be thinking, where is your orb that you're holding going to be at the very end? You also want to have a plan for that. So we ended up getting quite a nice combo there, both by taking a step back and by taking a few steps forward.
So now we're going to be talking about tip number 3, which is orb pushing.
All right, so this is a bit more of an advanced tip. So when you have mastered tips 1 and 2 and feel very comfortable both recognizing patterns, being able to work forward and backwards, and also potentially creating some of those patterns on your own and being able to solve them once you've created them, we have this newer advanced technique of orb pushing. The reason to use orb pushing is it actually simplifies things in a lot of ways. If all you do is work backwards and work forwards, you do have to do quite a bit of planning and quite a bit of thinking, so this should hopefully be able to simplify that a little bit once you become very familiar with finding patterns and being able to create patterns there as well. So here's just a kind of a standard board, and the way that orb pushing works is that you want to take perhaps an orb that is all by itself, and you want to work from the edges in. So here, what we might think about doing is we see that there's a few reds here that we can potentially make maybe a 3 red orb combo there at the bottom using this blue in hand. We also have, of course, some blues up here, so maybe that's where we're going to want to end up, somewhere up here. The nice thing about this orb pushing is once we've set these 3 red orbs down here at the bottom, you can basically set them there and forget about them because they're stable, they're not really involved in the rest of the board anymore, and you can kind of build off of that again. So we also have a couple of greens here, so we might be able to take a green over here or a green over here and also add on to a row over here just to continue to be able to build off of that. Maybe take some of these yellows and make a row on top of that. So I'll go ahead and just show you guys a little bit about how orb pushing works and kind of how that simplifies the board and allows you to keep going. So here I'm going to again take this blue orb. Now I've created that. Now I'm creating a green. Now I've created this other pink here. And then unfortunately I didn't have quite enough time to make it up to that blue, but as you saw I made that yellow on the edge so that was also kind of out of the way, and I was hoping to move up there to the blue. Didn't have quite enough time, but as you saw, everything kind of spread out and split up nicely, and we had plenty of room there to make that blue if we had enough time. All right. Well, I hope that those tips, were useful and are something that you guys would be able to use when you first start out playing Puzzles and Dragons. Please do let us know in the comments below what other sort of tips and tricks you might have when you first start out playing Puzzles and Dragons. And we hope to see you guys next time.
Yeah, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you.
Peace.